So we've looked at just a couple of notable views, but you quickly realize that it is really hard to come up with what life is, really. I mean, again, just like we can define death in probably a million different ways, we can do the same thing about life. Life is so complex. Life is, could be objective, but also subjective, right? There are so much controversies in it and so much discussion points in it, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like we, are forced to really realize that it is maybe not important to really understand or come up with a like objective definition of what life is or death is, right? I think we should look at it from a different point of view,
Yeah, I mean, these concepts and the definitions change based on which field of study you're in. So for the philosopher, the death is more, or it's a less detailed explanation of the cessation of certain processes in the body.
Right.
If you're a medical student or in the medical field, you would define death differently. Right. And again, if you're in a specific social group, you would define death perhaps differently. Or in a more extreme case, living, right? The act of living could be living up to a certain value or specific standards. So you can commit deaths by not living up to certain standards if you're in that frame of reference or in that socio group, or sorry, not socioeconomic group, but that ideological group of people. If you're in a gang, right, to be living is to be in accordance with that value system.
Right.
And when you step out of that value system, that's like one step closer to death and dying. Maybe in a non-literal sense, but in a metaphorical or ideological sense, then yeah.
Yeah.